My name is Helena Holrick. This is a tiny shove, i.e. a push, a prod, a nudge, a little thing to get you going in your day so that you can actually have a brilliant one. And my tip from the top today is definitely one that we spoke about yesterday. So I was at a really nice business lunch yesterday that was wider than one would normally consider. It's filled with spiritual people who've all done a little bit of work on themselves and done a little bit of awareness. And so one of the conversations that kind of came up was around Hal Elrod's, sort of setting up your morning routine. He does a thing called Savers. I'll go into that at some point. But one of the things that we then talked about was that whole element of how do you get yourself to do the thing that you really don't want to do, or that you can procrastinate about, that then possibly doesn't necessarily get done. And one of those things is laying out your clothes the night before if you know that you want to go running. And someone related a story about because what you need to do is you need to pinpoint what is the precise moment that stops you. So someone related the story about this wonderful chap who wanted to go running and had the impetus to go running, but the thing, hey honey, nice to see you, the thing that got in his way was actually the fact that he had like one of these walking wardrobes, and the process of getting out of bed and getting out of bed and walking through to that wardrobe was cold between those two spaces. So the idea, the thing that got him beyond that, was to prepare the night before by putting his clothes on the radiator next to him so that he had no excuses but to get up, literally put on warm clothes and then go out and run, which is genius. And so the lesson that we can take from that, and from just the idea of, what is it that will help me hit the ground running, is really thinking ahead, that piece of thinking ahead that allows you to really go, what do I want to start my morning with? What do I want to start my after lunch with? What do I want to actually do? And do the tiniest minute of prep before you stop doing something so that you're ready for it. So for example, this morning, I've prepped all the car and everything else. I'm off to run my Bismosis morning, and I'm excited to see all the people in the group, etc. But before that, I've got some me time. And so the prep that was actually done yesterday was, I do my hour's worth of reading. I do some kind of guidance or whatever. Today it happens to be the runes. I've got my high performance planner here, and I've got my notebook that I've actually got my, sort of my morning pages in them. So I have no excuses but to come down. Oh, and I've got my coffee. So I have no excuses but to come down, make my coffee, sit down, do a little bit of reading because that kind of connects me, get a little bit of guidance from the day, write those out in the journal, however I want to actually do that, and then double check that I've actually got my high performance planner, my planner for the day ready and set to go. And yes, the plan ready and set to go was done last night, so I pretty much want to make sure that I'm on track with it and that I know what to do, and then you can be off and running. So the invitation for you is to say this, which is, what do you pick a thing that you know that you procrastinate about, or pick a thing that you know that you dither around, and go, okay, so what's the step before that I could put in place right now that would allow me to just fall into that activity as opposed to think myself into it, because that thinking myself into it can take a minute and it can take half an hour. So be a little bit more efficient and productive in your day by just setting up ahead of time. So that's me all over and done with. I'm going to assume that the other person watching is Sarah, but I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you're going to do as a result of this in terms of setting you up for your day and days to come. Many blessings. Have a brilliant, wonderful one, and I will catch you tomorrow.